Hey everybody, this is going to be a quick cara potato, yes, in the bag. This was a bag that potting soil came in, a 60-liter bag that I just folded over and put some topsoil in it and planted 2 cara seed potatoes. And we'll see what we're going to get out of the bag. Now this would be a fairly quick one because the daylight's leaving on me. It's surprising how quickly that it's starting to get dark now. Can't believe it. It seemed like it was only 2 weeks ago it was getting dark at 9 o'clock, and now well, it's dark by 8. So it's amazing how quick. Throw that bag over there. It's amazing how quick it's getting dark now. This soil's quite wet. We had quite a rain last night, so it's quite wet. Now we're going to see what we get for cara potatoes. There was 2. There's a seed potato that totally nothing left of. And boys, it's not looking good so far. We're going to find some cara potatoes. Well, there's some little fellas there. A little bit bigger. I got quite major work going on the last few days. I don't know if anybody remembers, but back in the spring we had Hurricane Arthur. And Hurricane Arthur, I live up on a farmhouse up on a hill. Here's the other seed potato. And boys, the wind hit here awfully hard. And anyway, blew lots of shingles off the roof, enough that it warranted to get a roof done. So I have some of our local boys in doing a roof, fantastic carpenters and good workers. Well, I shouldn't say just good workers, though. It's pretty much impossible for anybody else to keep up with them. They're quite hard workers, but they're hard workers and they're fairly fast, but not at sacrifice to the quality of the job. When something isn't quite fitting right, they will stop and make sure that that's right before they move on to the next thing, which isn't. Boys, I think I'm going to get skunked out of this one. I better save him. I think everyone counts. Now, I'll get my box. I'm not going to bore you with a million potato reveals, but this spring I planted the Charlotte in the green tub that you already seen, and 3 tubs of cara. This was the bag of cara that I planted. I planted a box and a barrel. So I was thinking I'll do potato reveals on those 3 things. So that this would be the second one, and I'll have one more. Now this one here, I don't know. Couldn't call that a bumper crop. Better save him too. I think that's all that's in there. Now he was a little shaded between the rest of the containers, so maybe he was just too crowded and too shaded. But that's all that I see out of there. So that's gonna be they're a pretty little potato. We don't get many potatoes around here with the pink ends or the purplish type ends onto them. I guess more pink. But we'll see what this ends up weighs. I have my doubts if we're going to make a pound. But we'll see. Now, same thing again. The camera's going to get a little shaky. To head to the scales. I had a few people mention about the scales that I was using, so I thought I should polish them up a little bit. So I give them a bit of a polish. And actually the scales are my father-in-law's, and I have a couple of triple beam scales, or the beam scales, and but these were his, and they were his favorite scales, and I can see why, because they're a beautiful little set of scales. They weigh up to, I think it says 60-pound capacity or 50-pound capacity, and there's little P's on the end, and the nice thing about it, if you see over here, is made in Canada. But anyway, as far as our potatoes go, well, let's say a pound is too heavy. I'd say about 3/4 of a pound. Well, we'll hope the other ones do better than that. Have a great one. If anything, it'll give me good seed potato, so that's always a good thing. Later on in the week I'll show you the roof. Oh, before I go, sorry about the basement, it's a bit of a mess, but with construction work going on, when it's wet we store all the stuff in here. But if you see, these are the potatoes that the mice eat. I got 3 buckets full of stuff that is chewed out like that. Isn't that something? That would have been a big potato if a mouse. Now this one here, the mouse, well, he didn't leave much of that. That was a nice looking potato. And it's the same story down through the buckets here everywhere. And yes, it is disappointing, but that's gardening. Gardening, you win some, you lose some. On the brighter side this year, cucumbers were just booming. Beans did well. Corn's a little late, but corn is coming on beautiful. I never put any kind of treatment at all onto it, and there's not a corn borer in it. So hey, that's gardening. Have a great one, everybody.